Hello, good yo. There you go. Oh, there's something on there. There we go. Hello, good yo-yo people. I'm Nate, and this is Let's Talk Yo-Yo. Today we're going to do something a little different. Not a review, not necessarily. We're not going to go through the same steps as a normal review for this channel, but we are going to do a comparison. This video was suggested a while back. It's been on my list of things to do, and I'm finally getting around to it. So we're going to go ahead and compare the G Squared YoYo Reaper, that's this one, with the G Squared YoYo Covenant, and that's this one. All right, on to the comparison. Let's talk about them individually, and then let's kind of look at them, see how they are similar, see how they are different. All right, that's what the word compare means. Let's talk about the Reaper first. So this is the Reaper. We're looking at a sort of organic-esque V shape, more of a V shape than organic, and that's its profile. We have a nice, just sort of aesthetic lines there and so on, just kind of a nice little cut in there just to kind of give it a little bit of that. It also has a little, just a hint of that sort of H shape in there. Moving to the bowls, we have just a fairly smaller nub. This is kind of different for G Squared YoYos. You don't quite see one quite like that. The center is very different than anything else that G Squared has. And then you have just a simple line again around the bowl there, which, it looks just aesthetically pleasing. We have a decent amount of weight on the rims there as well, just a nice amount of heft there, enough that you can tell this is going to be a pretty solid spinner as far as length and so on of spin times. Let's take a look at the Covenant. The Covenant, on the other hand, is much more of an H-shaped yo-yo than the Reaper is, and so you got that going for it. And the biggest difference, I would say, is just the heft that you have on here in that in those rims there. I mean, you have a decent amount of weight on the rims there on the Reaper, but man, this Covenant, it is chunky there. It is very heavy on those rims, and it's quite the powerhouse on the spin times and so on as well. It's you got to watch out for it. It can bite you if you're not careful. In a good way. It has just a lot of power, and so you're really going to be able to just get longer tricks and so on. You have a similar hub design that you see on a lot of G Squared YoYos, that kind of point where you have on the Banshee, you have on you also have on the older Elites and that kind of thing. So that's fairly common. Just to kind of take a look at the two in comparison here, they are very different in the design on that. Where this is sharp, it's going to be sharp enough to Matador as well, just like you have on the Banshee and so on. This is nice and rounded off. I'm not sure about the axle size. Let's go ahead and take them apart here. This is the first of these sort of comparisons, so I might miss something. And if I do, and if you're like, I'd really like to have seen that and how they match up with that, then let me know, and I will get back to you on that and find an answer for you. They are literally the same length, but they're the exact same length axle. Of course, they have the standard G Squared pads there, G pads, and I have the Boss bearing in both of these as well. All right, let's take a look. I brought a scale out, this coffee scale, Hario coffee scale, just to kind of give you just the weight of it in grams, just to kind of give a comparison to that. Up first here is the Covenant. All right, see what we're at. So bearing everything, we're at 63 grams. We're at 63 grams exactly. Okay. All right, I'll take the string off of the Reaper here. Interesting enough is, okay, this is only 63 grams. It does not feel like it in the hand. It feels more like something in that 67, 68 even. It feels heavier just because the weight distribution is quite different. Now let's go ahead and weigh the Reaper. See where we're at. This one's at 63.6, 63.5, right about there. So that's significant, okay, because this yo-yo definitely feels lighter in the hand than this one, okay? I can feel it kind of more in the middle. I feel like there's a little more center weight on this Reaper than there is on the Covenant, okay? I can get in focus. There. So yeah, there's a little bit more rim weight, I feel, and that's gonna definitely change up how they feel even in the hand. All right, let's go ahead and toss them around just a little bit, and we will kind of compare how they play on the string for a little bit, and then we'll have some last minute remarks about all that. All right, let's go. All right, just a little bit of play time here with each of these yo-yos, just to kind of give you sort of a feel on the string here. Again, not necessarily official review because I'm not doing like the full rundown, but this is the Reaper. One of the things you're going to notice about the Reaper is you can like kind of hear it. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but man, it whistles, okay? It just has such aerodynamic properties. Is that a thing? Is that a word? Is that what scientists would say? That, man, it just has, you can hear how fast it's going. It has a very commanding feel as far as the bowl and all that's concerned. It's going to be really decent for those kind of things. It's going to be really decent for any kind of competition type of tricks, like horizontal. I mean, the shape is perfect for that kind of thing, where it has that nice hybrid sort of shape with that comfy, organic, just a touch of H shape. On a grind, it's going to be really good as well. That blast is really decent. Now let's move on to the Covenant. So the Covenant, I talked about how it just feels like it's a little heavier, at least it feels like in the hand, heavier than it really is on the specs. Now on a throw, it doesn't feel heavy at all. It doesn't feel like it's a brick or anything like that. It feels like something around 63 grams. I would still say it feels a little heavier, but you can definitely feel where the weight distribution is pushed a lot more towards the outside. Very stable yo-yo, very stable. The Covenant as well is going to be very proficient for performance, focus, competition sort of friendly tricks. On the catch, it's fairly comfortable. I feel like the catch on the Reaper is just a little bit more organic, so it's a little bit more comfortable, I feel, in the catch. I really like the Covenant. It's one of those like yo-yos that I played for a little bit whenever I first got it, and I had other things I was getting as well, but then I've kept coming back to it. It's one that's grown on me a little bit slower. I feel like the Reaper, I immediately was like, yes, this is great. I really like this. The Covenant, on the other hand, I liked it at first, but it's growing on me more and more. It's kind of one of those things where it's not necessarily first love. So I really, really like the Covenant as I've gotten to play it more and more. And I think it's a really good offering from G Squared. Very much of a powerhouse, like I said. So there we go. There's the comparison between the Reaper and the Covenant. I'm probably missing some things. That's okay. But I don't know if I necessarily say which one I like better. I can tell you which one I liked first better, which was the Reaper. But again, as a big, I'm sitting with it more. You know how it is. Like, there's a yo-yo maybe that you were like, at first I wasn't sure, but then I played it more, or I picked it up again after a couple months or a year even, or years, that you're like, wow, I absolutely love that. I found the opposite thing happen too, right? Where it's like, I used to really love that yo-yo, and for some reason I'm not a giant fan of it now. That's okay. That's why we have so many of these preferences. Are they both good yo-yos? Absolutely. Do they both feel like G Squared yo-yos? Absolutely. They're very different though. And I think that's really great that we have those offerings. So there's my comparison, again, not review, all right, of both the Reaper and the Covenant by G Squared YoYos. And as usual, good day and good yo-yo.